one guess as to why I'm in such a good mood?
Inspector Hammer has been kidnapped by aliens for use in laboratory experiments.
Close. Hammer is going to trial today for murder.
Captain, you don't seriously believe that Hammer shot Hugo Victor in cold blood, do you?
Doro, what I can't believe is that Hammer shot him only once. Restraint is not one of Hammer's strong points.
Captain, Victor is one of the biggest racketeers in this city. He had many other enemies besides Hammer.
But none as psychotic as Hammer. You see, Victor beat every rap that Hammer ever brought against him. So Hammer finally snapped.
I just don't believe he did it.
I don't believe he did it either.
I don't either.
Excuse me, sir. Do you think Inspector Hammer is guilty?
Yes, I do.
Who is that?
Hammer's attorney.
Here he comes. Here.
What happened?
Inspector Hammer. Susie Shallow from Channel 6 News. How does it feel to be charged with the murder of Hugo Victor?
I'm mad, that's what I am. Somebody else got all the fun of killing this cheese ball. Now I get the blame. So why don't you go cover a bake-off?
Oh. The death of Hugo Victor, tragic accident, or public service. Susie Shallow, Channel 6 News.
Sledge. You know, things are looking pretty grim right now. I just want to let you know we're behind you 100%.
I'm not worried, Duro. I'm gonna get off. I'm a cop. Judges are our friends. We're on the same team.
All rise.
Look, there isn't a judge in this country who would convict me. Except her.
Court, Judge Ida Grubb presiding.
I just would like to say, Your Honor, that is a particularly becoming shade of black you're wearing.
Inspector Hammer, this court will not be influenced by flattery.
Would you rather have cash?
Sit down! Inspector Hammer, you're charged with murder in the first degree. How do you plead?
I never plead. Usually I don't even ask.
Just tell her guilty.
What?
I'll get you off on the appeal, and it will make a better ending for the movie of the week.
You egg-sucking leech.
How about a book?
Get out.
How about a musical?
Get out.
How about a musical based on the book?
Get out, go chase an ambulance.
Or a book based on the musical? Go on. How about a rock video?
Inspector Hammer, what do you propose to do for counsel?
Clarence Darrow.
Your Honor, we can hire an attorney from the Safe Sledge Fund started at the precinct.
How much did you collect?
$1.99.
Inspector Hammer, the court needs an answer. What are you going to do?
Your Honor, I've decided to represent myself.
Hammer, you don't have to do that. I will lend you the money.
Thanks, but no thanks. And I plead not guilty. See, they're laughing. I got them in the palm of my hand.
The prosecution may call its first witness.
Your Honor, the prosecution calls R.C. Victor. Your relationship to the deceased?
Surviving son and professional playboy.
Can you describe now, please, in your own words, the events of the night of January 24th?
Well, I'd arrived at the precinct to bail my father out after he'd been arrested for jaywalking by that gibbering homicidal maniac, Inspector Hammer.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. That slipped. That was just, I don't know. Whoop, ho, see? Try it. Really.
Anyway, as I was saying, that turkey had the audacity to confront my father with a gun.
Hey, what's going on here? Who let this lungfish out of his cave?
Inspector, he paid his bail. We had to let him go.
Why?
Because that's the law.
You're kidding.
Hammer.
All right, Victor, okay, we'll release you. But nobody says we have to release you alive.
Go ahead, Hammer. You want to try something? I've got a black belt.
Yeah? I got a silver gun.
Yeah, I heard about that little thing.
Oh, wait!
hell's going on out here?
Oh, I was just demonstrating some low-impact aerobics with Officer Smith here.
Hammer! I'll see that you're busted down a Cub Scout for this!
You just want to see me in short pants. Listen, you miserable can of tuna. I'll get you if it's the last thing I do.
And the next day, Inspector Hammer shot my father.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Inspector Hammer?
Yes, I was wondering if I could take the witness into a dark room with some rubber hose just for a short time, Your Honor.
I object, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll use a lead pipe.
The witness may step down.
Prosecution would like to call Mrs. Rebecca Manderley. Mrs. Manderley, would you tell the court the events of the morning of the 25th?
Certainly. Inspector Hammer here came to see Mr. Victor that morning. I showed him into the study, and a few minutes later, I began to hear all sorts of cursing and shouting and crashing, and, well, suddenly there was a gunshot. Well, I ran to the study and... Oh! Faith and be God.
Father!
Mrs. Manderley canceled my father's golf appointment.
It was Inspector Hammer I saw in his car driving away that morning.
No further questions.
Inspector?
Mrs. Manderley, how long did you work for Hugo Victor?
32 years.
32 years. That's a very long time. You must have liked him.
He was all right.
All right? I'd say you thought he was more than just all right. I'd say you loved him.
What?
In fact, you loved him enough to lie about who killed him. Ever since that first night when you met him and you were dancing in the chorus of the hula bar, you've been in love with him. It was a whirlwind romance. Then your beauty faded and you became the dried-up, frustrated old hag you are today. But your love burned ever brighter. So you took any job you could just to be near him, and you became his housekeeper. You may as well admit it. You were addicted to love. But then he got a new girl, a younger, a prettier girl than you. A girl who had a gun tattooed right on her... Well, anyway, she was cute. You couldn't stand it. You couldn't take it anymore, so you stood behind the study door, and you waited until I left, and then you shot her in a fit of jealous rage. Now, that's really how it happened, isn't it, Mrs. Manderley?
Pish posh and nonsense. Hugo was terrible in the sack, so I dumped him. But he always paid a good wage, so I stayed on. And that's the end of the story right there.
Aha. Well, it was worth a try. No further questions, Your Honor. Read that back to me, would you?
What's the point between you and me? You don't have a snowball's chance in hell.
Thanks. That's what I thought she said.
You may step down. Mr. Burnham.
The prosecution would like to call Inspector Sledgehammer. Inspector Hammer, why don't you give us your version of what happened that fateful morning?
Well, as long as I'm up here. See, I drove to Hugo Victor's house.
Inspector Hammer, to see you, sir.
Look, Hammer, state your business and get out of here, will you? I've got a tee-off time in half an hour.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'm already teed off.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'll take the penalty. I'm gonna watch you like a hawk. Wherever you go, I go, Hugo. Water hazard.
What are you doing, Hammer? You got nothing on me and you never will. And besides, even if you did put me behind bars, I'd be out just like that.
Then maybe I should put you away permanently. Oh! Boy, this is a tough course. Now I'm in a sand trap.
Hammer, I'm warning you. You've gone too far, Hammer. I'm warning you.
I'm gonna take a mulligan on this one.
And if anything does happen to me, my son's gonna take over the business. And he's even worse than I am.
Well, then I'll send you both on a permanent vacation. You can have a family reunion in the place where bad people go and burn for eternity.
I've already been to the Bahamas. Oh, no.
Oh, one of my better games. See you on the back nine. Divot breath.
So, when you left, Hugo Victor was still alive.
Unfortunately, yes.
Then how do you explain this?
I don't know.
Your Honor, I would like to enter as Exhibit A.
What, is it time for People's Court?
This videotape taken from one of the surveillance cameras at Hugo Victor's house.
Well, see you on the back nine. Divot breath. Can I see that part again where he gets shot?
Recess!
Inspector Hammer, what do you think of the videotape we just saw?
Well, I didn't think it had enough action, but it had a great finish. On a Hammer scale, I'd give it 4 bullets.
What do you think that...
Hey, I never think. That's what makes me a good cop. Now, will you get off my back, you prattling parasite?
Hammer! Hammer, that tape, what's going on?
I don't know. All I know is I did not kill Hugo Victor. I never forget the good times in my life. You know that.
Hammer, after that tape is going to take a miracle to get you off.
Well, say hello to Saint Hammer. I just thought of the one witness I can call who can save me.
Who are you going to call?
Your Honor, for my next witness, the defense would like to call Inspector Sledgehammer.
Testing one. Inspector Hammer, the court is well aware of your distinguished record of excellence.
Well, you're too kind to...
No, I mean it.
Well,
but let's move on.
Yeah.
Inspector Hammer, Hugo Victor was let go on bail. Why was that?
Because of namby-pamby judges who insist on stupid little details like search warrants and incriminating evidence and conclusive proof and stuff like that.
Yes, I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah.
Captain, if he keeps playing this tape, it's going to kill him.
I hope we get to hear side 2.
However, despite your frustration, you had no intention of killing Hugo Victor when you went to visit him. Is that true?
No way.
That's it, Hammer. I've heard enough.
It's
Let's
going
move
quite
on
well.
then to another
All right,
arena
well, let me
of
just
questioning.
fast forward to the good part here.
Can we just get this over with? Hawk breath.
That's extra stuff. Oh, I don't know how that got on there. I think I went too far.
You're telling me.
Listen. Well, that's not right, is it? Get off me! This dang machine!
Stop! Have you gone completely mad?
Don't worry, she's not talking to you. She's talking to me.
Who are you talking to?
No, this is just, I just had a...
Inspector Hammer,
What?
surrender your weapon.
Sir? Your Honor, for its next witness, the defense would like to call Detective Dory Durow. This is where we get him on the run, Durow. Detective, will you kindly tell the court exactly what I said when I heard that Hugo Victor was going to be released from jail? Now, I want you to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
The whole truth. Sledge, I don't think that's a good idea. They're not going to understand.
Detective, please. I'm sure you have nothing to hide.
As soon as we heard that Victor made bail...
I'm going to get you. You know that, don't you? I'm going to get you, you miserable can of tuna, if it's the last thing I do.
Gentlemen, this way, please.
Hammer, maybe Hugo Victor is innocent.
Durow, the sign said don't walk, and he deliberately stepped in the crosswalk.
I'm talking about racketeering.
Hey, come on. He's so crooked, he moonlights as a corkscrew.
We don't have any proof.
Not yet.
Hammer, you're not thinking of doing something illegal, are you?
Manufacturing evidence is a time-honored police tradition. Come on, Captain, just this once, let's go over the edge. Huh? Just a little piece of evidence, just something small, like a body. All right, that will be all. Thanks for nothing, blabbermouth. Your Honor, are your shoes too tight? I just was checking. For my next witness, I would like to call Captain Trunk. For my next witness, I would like to call Captain Trunk. Captain, please. Captain Trunk. Captain Trunk, have you ever known me to be violent or irrational? Let me rephrase that. Have I ever been violent or irrational, but without a reason?
Your Honor, do I have to answer that?
Why don't we just skip ahead to the multiple choice? Would you please describe to the court the events that took place after I returned from visiting Hugo Victor?
Hammer, you don't want...
Trust me. I know what I'm doing.
Okay. Well, it was like this. No.
Hi there. Oops. Whoop. Well, I just thought I'd come by and say hello to you, too. It's a beautiful, beautiful day, isn't it? It's a very natty tie you're wearing, Captain.
Hammer? Have you been whiffing gunpowder again?
No. See, I just returned from a very successful meeting with Hugo Victor, and I think our problems are over.
Hello?
And that was the phone call that informed you that Hugo Victor was murdered.
Yes.
Now, would you describe to us your exact thoughts as soon as you found that out?
No, you didn't do it. It's finally happened, and now you've gone and done it. I order.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I lost control for a second.
Yes, he did. That'll be all. Thank you. Then what did I say?
That for 2 cents, you'd blow Hugo Victor to fish food and give back change.
Then what happened?
You mean before you bit Mr. Victor in the hand, or after you kicked him in the shins?
In simple layman's terms.
It was a hard shot. Direct center, just like you always do.
Okay, that's fine. No further questions.
The bullet fragments were from a 44 Magnum, just like you always carry.
Right. No, thank you. No further
And
questions.
we found a full set of prints.
Hey.
That were exactly
okay,
like yours.
I said that's enough. Don't you understand English? Thank you. For my next witness, the defense would like to call R.C. Victor. Mr. Victor, did you get along with your father?
Sure. He used to slap me around a little, but what are dads for?
Oh, right. You mean like he got you in a chokehold when you were sleeping, that kind of thing?
Well, we'd horse
Someone
around.
in front here booms, that kind of thing?
No.
Indian burn, yeah?
No.
Inspector Hammer,
Burn, that kind of thing? Objection overruled. Enough chit-chat. Mr. Victor, is it not true that you recently had a serious falling out with your father with respect to when you would take over the family business?
Well, yes.
Yes. And isn't that also true that if anything happened to your father, you would be the one to inherit everything?
Yes, that's true, but...
But, me no buts. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I submit to you that this man had the opportunity, the motivation, and the means with which to kill his father, and in fact, he did it!
But I was out in the backyard pruning the roses when he was shot.
You're lying!
No, I'm not.
You're lying!
No, I'm not.
You know you're lying!
Cross my heart.
You're lying!
On my father's grave.
Your Honor, the defense rests.
It's about time. You may step down. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you may retire to ponder your verdict. In the meantime, this court is in recess.
Anybody needs any help with parking tickets? Because I can help you out on that.
Hammer!
Everybody.
Where's your dignity, man?
I don't know, but I know where it's going to be if I get no takers. I'm doing 10 to 20 for murder.
Get hold of yourself!
You got a hold of me already. Movie violations.
Listen, I'm behind you all the way.
That's nice of you, Duro. But they don't have co-ed jails. I'll tell you what, we'll split the time. Hammer! What? She offered. She said she...
Hammer, any predictions about the future?
Yes. Scientists will perform the first brain transplant, and you'll be the recipient.
The jury has reached a decision.
Oh, finally. How long were they out?
30 seconds.
Ooh.
Will the defendant please rise?
Of the charge of murder in the first degree, we find the defendant, Inspector Sledgehammer, guilty.
How about the best 3 out of 5?
Inspector Hammer, do you have anything to say before I render my extremely harsh and incredibly painful sentence?
Yeah. I want a cell with a western exposure. I don't like the sun waking me up in the morning.
It's enough. You know, we're not talking about a slap on the wrist here.
Wait, what did you say? Did you say wrist?
Wrist.
Wrist. Wait, I just thought of something. Anybody could have impersonated me and faked this tape. You can't even see my face. All they would have needed was somebody with my size and my build. Somebody like R.C. Victor.
That's impossible. I was in the garden.
No, you weren't. You waited behind the study door, and when I left, you came in and you shot your own father. Even a world-class sprinter couldn't have made it from the rose bushes to the study between the time you heard the shot and you appeared on that video screen. You see how long it took me to say it?
That's a lie. I ran track in high school. It was easy.
Oh, yeah? And what about that? And what about that?
I caught myself shaving.
No, you didn't. All right, you're going to jail, snail bait, for the murder of your own father. Oh! Stand back! Hey, thanks a lot for taking away my gun, Your Honor.
Nag.
Out of my way!
As you can see, a mild gunfight has broken out here behind me in the courtroom.
Nuts.
Oh, this is amazing.
What do you mean?
For once, the press came in handy.
So what would you have done if you had been found guilty?
I could have done that time standing on my head.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know, Hammer, when you go to prison, they take your gun away.
You're pulling my leg, right?
No?
No? Well, you could see it like on Visitor's Day or something, right?
No.
That's cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah.